So here we are at the California Superbike School at Silverstone, as you can see. Guys out on track right now. I just got here, the safety briefing. I was gutted, I wanted to bring the Super 10 down today, but as you can see, it's been chucking it down in Birmingham. It was horrible, and I didn't want to ride back in the rain. After saying I couldn't fit my racing levers and my wets in the same bag. So, had the safety briefing. We've been instructed what we're doing on the track. This is obviously the California Superbike School on Wednesday the 15th of July. So introduce yourself, Luke Wilkins, Motorcycle Diaries. The mission on this first session that we're going to be doing is to go out there, keep it in 4th gear and use no brakes. Just getting used to rolling on the accelerator in the right position when you've got the bike pointed in the right way. These guys don't believe in having constant acceleration, as in like a little bit on the front as you go in, and I'm exactly the same. You need to get it off there to get the weight over the front wheel so you can turn in. So that's what we're going to do on the first session. I managed to have a coffee. I'll be heading out in a second. Sweet. Here we are then, California Superbike School on Wednesday the 15th of July. I just had my second session, didn't get a chance to come in after the first one. First one was all just about going around in 4th gear, using no brakes and getting you kind of just getting a feel for the course. And that this, then we had a lesson all about turning in, and obviously the best lines for the apex of the corner. So then they've got these yellow crosses out, and it was all about trying to hit those, and you know, obviously turn in later so you can get more speed coming out. I'm nailing it, man. I'm really enjoying it. I did have a moment where I hit the cross so perfectly, my wheel actually slid along it. But yeah, it's all about, you know, obviously getting to the corner slower and smoother with the bike, keeping the bike stable is our mantra, and then you know, applying more speed and acceleration getting out of it because you've got more grip and you've got a better lean angle. I'm learning loads today, and instead of going out on the track and just absolutely ramming it like you normally would do. I mean, that session it was 3rd and 4th gear, still no brakes. So you're really learning the balance of the bike and keeping it stable, which is obviously the mantra for today anyway. I'll be back in the classroom and I'll be out on track in a bit more. I think we're going to be doing a lot more on counter steering. I did a special off-track session as well on counter steering. Felt weird, and then you realise you do it naturally on track anyway. It's how you lean in and you're pushing the opposite way so you want to turn. Anyway, I better go upstairs. As you can see, it's slightly wetter now. We just had lunch and we had our 3rd lesson, which was on counter steering. Now, let me explain a little bit about counter steering, because it's something that I think a lot of people, well, everyone does, but you might not know about it. When you're, for instance, turning to the right, you're actually applying pressure to the right handlebar, pushing that forward. So you're actually turning the handlebars to the left, even though you're leaning and turning to the right. Now, the way to turn quicker on a track is obviously to put more pressure on that. Now, when you think about it, you're like, that feels wrong. But when you're on track, you actually do it naturally. Everyone does it. That's how you learn to ride a push bike. This is what I'm really finding about today. A lot of other schools I've done on track days, they teach you to go out there and ride that track fast. You know, they mark out points to turn in, mark out this and that. They don't explain the theory and tell you why. The great thing about today has been that they're explaining all the theories on it, and already I'm so much more confident out on track and so much more confident about my ability, and I just want to get back out there and really hammer it because I'm having so much fun. It's brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to get ready soon to go back out. Session number 3 now. This is all about turning in quickly, even in the wet. In fact, when I think in the wet you should turn more quickly, believe it or not, as in getting the bike turned so it's lined up ready than you should in the dry. So this has been the biggest eye-opening course in the world for me today, and I think everyone should come on this, because do you know what, I think a lot of us probably think we know how to ride fast when you get here, and everyone, you know, either the Q&A sessions have been completely wrong, we're all learning loads, you know, and I've done a number of these schools, I've ridden quite a lot, and I'm learning a hell of a lot. I'm doing really well as well. Anyway, I'm going to get back in, finish my lunch, and then crack on with session 3. We have just had session number 3, which was a counter steering session after the lesson. Now we just had a lesson about doing absolutely nothing on the bike. We're going out on the track, just that dry, which you can see, wicked, and put it into practice later. I found something really interesting. I've always been, you know, gripping onto the bike, thought I was hanging off, but it turns out actually as I was going around corners, I was too much tension in my shoulders, so I was actually putting a lot more weight down on the front instead of actually just doing the kind of parallel movement. And as much as I was kind of fighting the bike, so although I was positioning myself to lean in, as I was going in, I was actually kind of almost anti-leaning in a slight way. So then I went out and, you know, the guy after giving me a warning for some aggressive overtaking, and I really shouldn't do that, so it wasn't intentional, the guys weren't carrying the corner speed. I went back out there just for a couple of laps, and suddenly I was going so much tighter and quicker, and that kind of, and turning quicker, purely because I was going a lot more with the bike. You know, it's odd, I'm someone that's someone need done stuff before with the caddy lead, but it's interesting that even that's such a big glaring difference and wrongness in my riding. I'm learning so much here today. It's almost like being back at school, but about something you really want to learn about, and you know, the theory behind it is so fascinating, but once you kind of pick that up, instead of just teaching how to do the track, you can then just kind of come and improve on your own, testing that limits. The next session, which is the one we just had, is all about rider feedback. So it's about being as relaxed as you can on the bike, no tension in your shoulders, so you can literally, you're not really putting any pressure on the handlebars, so you just can feel everything the bike's doing. So I'm going to have a bit of a break for 5 minutes, go to it, and then get on track and give it a go. Wicked. Oh, end of session 5 on track then, which was all about, as I said, doing nothing on the bike, getting feedback from it, not tensing up. I still was tensing a little bit on my left arm when I was going in, so I wasn't getting enough lean and obviously wasn't getting as much turn angle as I could. But it's amazing because my instructors immediately take you to one side. He says it's because I'm not, you know, using my knees to stop myself going forward. Learning so much today, and this last lesson, well, now what we're doing is called the two-step, which is obviously when you're learning, you know, the first thing you learn is you find your turning point, you get to your turning point, then you look for the apex, hit the apex, and you look for the exit and hit that. Now we're learning about, while looking for the turning point, when you know the bike's going to actually hit the turning point, you're looking early for the apex, even though you keep the turn point in your peripheral. It's just so you keep that there so you don't turn in immediately. But yeah, that's the point. So you're looking, even though you're still going that way, and then you turn in, and it just allows you to hit a consistent apex. So I've got one more session left. Suppose I do this, it'll all come together, and that just by going around 85 and getting this right, 85% will be the same as going out and doing 100%. It's been an amazing day. We'll be chatting to Martin, our competition winner from Crank, in just a bit, and honestly, it has been phenomenal. And the great news is the track. So this last session, I'm going to really give it some and see what we can achieve, because I think it's time that the wheel can step it up. Bring it up. That day almost done and dusted. We've got the final debrief to go. I've got to admit, actually doing that two-step looking thing brought everything together. Felt like you were going so much slower because you were more in control, but oh my godness, the goodness, the speed you're carrying into the corners, and the turning speed, and actually looking at the apex and hitting the apex because you're looking earlier. I don't know what to say. I mean, just so you don't think this is just me making this up, Martin Dunn. Say hello, sir.
Hello.
Martin won the competition on my Kerrang show to come and do the day with me. Now, how's your day been, mate?
Yeah, stupendous, mate. It's been absolutely super.
And what would you say is the biggest thing that this would have changed about your riding?
Well, I can go a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Now, I've done track days before, and I've never walked away from a track day before thinking I've felt within my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I've gone for it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that got me about today. Normally you get on a track, I've got to think the track down and done, where I've just gone out there and nailed it, you know, and you've gone really fast, and while you're learning, you're trying to do it at breakneck speed. Today is the first time where I've hardly used my brakes all day, obviously in that last section a bit more, and my riding, you know, never thought that you'd get that smoothness, that ability to turn in quick and fast in the corners and hit every apex, man. And it's not just this course. I think you can go and take what you've learned today and do it on any course, on the road, and you can be
watching that Norwegian ditch it on the grass was pretty good as well.
That was highly amusing because he kept trying to come past us, do you know what I mean? And every time he did, oh, we got his arse in a bit. But since you had to summarise the day, and what would you say to someone that is thinking about doing this, but is thinking it's a lot of money, is it worth it?
Take it from me, I've paid money doing other track days, and this might be a bit more, but it's heads and shoulders above anything else. But
it really is, isn't it? There's no they're not paying lip service just to make you go out there and have a good time. They are actually teaching the real fundamentals of motor racing, you know, of bike racing, and it is, and it's I'm already signed up for level 2, mate. So I'm really happy. Yeah. Admittedly, I'll get it free. So, so I get that.
And while we're on film, hopefully he's going to get it me free as well.
Yeah, no worries, man. We'll see what we can do. But look, so Martin, honestly, it's been a pleasure having you here today,
thanks
mate.
Thanks ever so much for today, mate.
Not a problem, mate. It's been brilliant. We're going to go and do our final debrief, and then I'll have a quick chat before we go.